This is Rick Tocchet, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scottie Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media, Newport Beach. This is Missin Curfew, and before we start snapping it around, let's not forget, this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. It's Obes. The fucking updog is looking sharp today. I don't know where he's going after this or what he's doing, but he is looking sharp, ready to go. And we got our boy in the chin of Scottsdale, as he would say, Jordan Smoltz, a.k.a. Jay Swishy, 93-1. Boys, how we doing?
Fellas, doing good. It's a lovely day in paradise. Sobes, she rained yesterday.
One day of rain.
Yeah, but we're back. It's nice. Walked the dog, took care of the little Goldie this morning, and ready to rock and roll, fellas. It's a beautiful day in paradise. How's the desert? How's the musky, dusty air in Scottsdale?
It's been raining here too, boys. It's been raining a lot. I think it's the most rainfall in the last 50 years or something like that. So we're staying with it though. But as you know, you got to battle the dog days of the desert from like July or probably even June 1 to right about now. I always say around Halloween, the winds start turning. It gets nice out. So it's entering into that season, what I like to call butter. It's going to be 75 for the foreseeable future, boys. So all good over here. Feeling good. Great weather out. I'm going to go watch the USC Trojan tennis team practice later. Whoa. Got my Jeremy Shockey jersey on. I'm all good, boys. It's good to be back.
The female team, I imagine.
Yeah, well, both. Both are here. Yeah, it's wow. We got the men's side and the women's side. So I'm going to go stop by, and I'm going to bring my racket. So I'm going to go slash around with those guys.
Are you just going to like sit around and say, hey, if you need someone to jump in and do some reps, I'm here? Or what's your approach there?
Yeah, I'm just going to say I got 1 year left of eligibility. I can give you guys probably a solid doubles game. So let me know if you need me. I got about a 40-mile-an-hour second serve. I got good feet, though, Obes, and I compete. So we'll see if they got a spot for me.
I mean, you guys just paid the ultimate price throughout the summertime in the desert, but you're about to get rewarded with the next, right to what, May, April?
Yeah, I would say probably the cutoff would be Memorial Day, late May. Then it gets spooky. Then you're like, I got to get out of town. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's just too toasty.
So what's going on? I saw on your social media there, you're saving your fire. What is it called? What's he say in Talladega Nights? I'm a professional race car driver and volunteer firefighter. So were you putting out fires there, Swishy, or what?
I mean, I don't know if they're going to build a statue for me one day, Obes, just the humanitarian work that I've done. I just think I basically saved the entire city.
What happened?
I think I put the city on my back, dude. There was a light that was on fire that, like on a walkway where it just kind of has those 3 or 4 feet light poles and it kind of lights up the area, especially at night, obviously. So I was walking by and I was actually half cooked and I was walking by. I'm like, this thing it's smoking. Like it's on fire, this light pole. I'm like, what's going on? And then I see underneath it, it's got like a flame coming out underneath it, almost like a gas grill or a gas stovetop. I'm like, that can't be right. And now it starts sounding like popcorn in the microwave. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I go in the building. I phone my security guard because he wasn't at the podium. I'm like, fella, you got to get over here. I think this light pole or fixture might blow up. He's like, what? I think he was high too. So he comes over there and it takes him like 3 or 4 minutes to get there. I'm like, buddy, you got to hurry up. This thing's like starting to really smoke and make a lot of noise, and now it's like on fire. So I had no choice. I had to call the fire department. The boys in blue came over. They're like, you know what, Swishy? Thank God you called. It wouldn't have blown up, but you never know with these electrical fires and where they may go. So Sunday night, I tweeted out, Obes, I think I'm the real MVP of Scottsdale because everyone was sleeping okay because of me calling the fire department.
It's making a difference up.
Yeah, the only difference, if you didn't save anyone, is you would have seen a bunch of women come out of their houses screaming in their underwear, going, save me, Schmaltzy, save me.
And I know, and
the real hero.
The boys offered me a job too on the engine. It was engine 622. Yeah, they told me entry level pay, and I'm going to play on my offside. I was like, I can play any side. Like, we're going to start you out on the left. I'm like, that's okay.
You're like,
so I'm going to get back to them.
You're like, I got a big hose here. I don't know if we need that one. I got a hose. I'll hose them all down.
Yeah. They were chirping me, though. They're like, I can't believe you actually called us. I'm like, well, dude, it's either this place blows up in my head or the security guy. I wouldn't have been able to sleep that night, Obes, knowing that I just went upstairs, and if that thing would have blown up, it was on me. So better safe than sorry, fella.
Yeah.
They were kind of chirping me. They're like, you didn't know that this thing wouldn't have blown up, and there's a small chance it would have actually started on fire. I'm like, dude, I'm a moron. Like, no, I'm just gonna err on the side of caution.
The boys were at the firehouse. They had the feed up watching. What night was this? Was this
Yeah, it was Sunday night, so they were probably watching me, you, and Dupree.
Or they had the football game on, and they're like, fuck, boys, we got to go. There's a call here. And they get out there, it's swishy, and there's like, fella, this light bulb. I think you did the right thing, though. When in doubt, you got to call the fire department. First responders, get them over there.
Schmaltzy, you know that next door app where like it talks about like your neighborhood, Batman or whoever's saving the hood, like, or there's a dog missing, like turn him in, or, there's a fucking sexual predator on the loose. It's this app.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that app was just blowing up. There's a guy out there in a basketball jersey who's saving lives. I think his name is Jay Swish.
Boy,
got a funny story.
the boys in blue showed up too. So you had the fire department, and then you had the cops. And then the cop started talking to me. And he's like, hey, what do you do? So and so. I'm like, I used to play hockey. He's all, what do you do now? I'm like, okay, I got these podcasts. So not only did these guys show up, I was working on the job. The guy's going to listen to Missin Curfew, the police chief. He gave me a couple recruiting hats. So I'm basically, I'm a community guy, man. Like I'm a team guy. I'm the people's insider, but I think they should give me some sort of award for community service, just doing deeds all around the city, man.
I mean, what you're doing to bring the Arizona Coyotes back, and now you're putting out fires in the city. I mean, yeah. I mean, they should give you the key to Scottsdale, fella.
I know. Like, start building a statue. Like Shane Doan, you can have one right next to me, man. We'll go. I'll go halfsies with you.
It's funny you talk about the boys in blue. One of my boys, a cop, he'll remain nameless, but he knows who he is out there. And the fact that this guy's a cop is, I wouldn't have bet it.
His antics.
Oh, he was one of my favorite guys to play with, right? Young kid I played with, but he was in the car riding around, and sometimes I'm texting with him, and he just put my name in the thing, hey, Shane O'Brien, and it just like he showed me what it came up. He's like, no priors, no restraint orders. He's like, you're good always, but it just blew my mind a little bit that like that's how easy it is for them.
Oh,
right? They just type in Shane O'Brien,
yeah,
and fucking everything came, like I got a clean sheet, but I'm just saying it kind of, and I was got a little cooked on the couch too doing it. It kind of blew my mind that that's how easy is it for them. Just punch
database, huh?
Yeah, right in the database.
Fuck. Well, they pull up your license right behind you. They can do it quick too. They pull out their iPad.
Yeah,
I've seen a guy on
he had it right here.
I've seen a guy. They keep the iPad on the side shuffle of their other bike. And they pull up behind you at a light and just ding, 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 take their glove off. And then they got this car speeding, fucking marijuana, cop before, ordering on ice. Let's go. They fucking find out everything.
Yeah.
Quick.
It blew me away. I was like, that's how easy it is for you guys.
Your girlfriend couldn't pull up your history of, antics that they used to.
I think there's some guys' girlfriends out there that can do that.
Yeah, they can for sure.
They'll remain nameless as well, but you know who you are as well. Swishy, I thought about you this. Obviously, Phil the Thrill, Updog, you were at the home opener last night. We're going to get into the Ducks and Pittsburgh as the show rolls on here, but no disrespect to this kid, Benjamin Kittle. Never heard of you, fellow. Welcome to the National League. But he's wearing 81. And I don't know, Swishy, we'll start with you. Listen, Phil won 2 cups. Should his jersey be hanging in the rafters? I don't know. Probably not, right? Is Chris Kunitz is up there yet? No. So if Chucky isn't up there, then Phil shouldn't be up there just yet. But I don't know, man. I just saw 81 in a Pittsburgh jersey, and Swishy, I thought, I don't think anyone should be wearing that. I think that just Phil the Thrill. He won his 2 cups. Miroslav Shatan wore it before him, but I don't know, man. I watched it. I watched it last night, and I was like, just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, and didn't Marian Hossa wear it too in Pittsburgh as well?
84.
Yeah, so you got 2 really prolific players there.
Yep.
And it's funny you say that, Obes, because I was watching that game too on the couch, and I thought the same thing. I watched Pittsburgh's opening game, and I was like, who is 81? And then I watched last night against the Ducks. I'm like, and you got to be a really good player to wear that number in Pittsburgh. It carries a lot of weight.
Hossa wore 18.
So, okay, you were 18, so just Satan and Phil. But I don't know, when you think about the Pittsburgh Penguins, you think about number 81. You think about the pride of Verona, Wisconsin. That's Phil the Thrill. I don't know. Like I said, Opes, it's funny you say that because I was thinking the same thing. I threw out a tweet. I was like, I don't think that kid should be wearing 81 in Pittsburgh. That's one of those numbers where it's not retired, but it's also just kind of goes without saying. It's an unwritten rule. Maybe don't wear it unless you're an absolute player.
Yeah, and that's what I think. And maybe until Sid and Evgeny and Letang hang him up, maybe then, maybe when it's a real, no longer those boys playing, then maybe. But right now, Phil's been out of the game for what, a couple of years? He hasn't been in Pitt for longer than that, I know. But it's still, when I saw it, I was like, God, that just reminded me of Phil Kessel. I'm like, if the training staff and even Sid and the boys might be like, hey, kid, let's get you a different number. Right? Let's get you, why don't you wear, I don't know, 78 or something? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up as we're speaking to see if maybe he was number 18, before, and now, that number's taken and he wants to go to 81. But you would think that the guys in the locker room or the trainer would look at him and be like, hey, by the way, like, maybe it's not the right thing. I'm not, it's obviously not 99 or 66 or, 77, but like, not a lot of guys wore 81. We talked about Host in Chicago wore it. That was kind of Phil's number. One back-to-back cups there. I don't know. I think as an old school guy, like, let's just put that one back in the old trainer's room. And yeah. And it's a random number, like Tommy Novak. So Thomas Novak is 18.
Yeah.
So, and they're playing on the same line. It just doesn't, I didn't notice it last night. So good on you.
Well, you were at the game.
I was
at the game. You're at the game.
100%.
Yeah.
But usually a guy like a little, guy out there with a little right-handed twig with the candy cane tape all over it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's 81. Well, there wasn't, that wasn't happening.
Yeah, Phil, there. Look at that. Look at there he is. I mean, look at that. Good style. Swishy, so you were a candy cane guy, huh? I saw you post something on social a couple of weeks ago. You, your brother, Phil the Thrill, you were a candy cane guy.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I got it growing up, watching Phil Kessel play for the Madison Capitals, and then ultimately going to the University of Minnesota. I mean, he was a guy that I watched all the time growing up. He was a guy that I looked up to, so even defenseman Opes, Duncan Keith used to rock the candy cane. I always loved the candy cane, how it felt. I tried to get away from it because, you kind of just like, I don't know if I want to be a candy cane guy for life, but I would always come back to it. It just felt so good in the hands, man.
Phil made it look good. Yeah. Phil made that look good because I would have never done that.
Never.
No
I never
chance.
tried.
But Phil made it
My
look
dad
good.
would have liked me to do it. My dad would have never let me do it. Not saying that.
So KC had a picture of the kid before. He wore 11 in junior. KC, go back there. What team is that he's playing for there?
Hitman?
Is that the Calgary Hitmen? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
So this would appear to me that this is a training camp number, boys. They gave him 81 in training camp.
That's even worse.
That's even worse.
Because it's on everybody in the organization now.
Yeah.
Well, the promising thing is he might be changing it soon after his 9 games or 10 games is up.
Yeah.
How old's this kid?
After Missin Curfew airs on Friday.
No. Because there's his training camp number, unless that's 2025 draft. It is.
I think that's his draft jersey. Yeah. Good eye, though. Yeah. He's wearing 22 for Team Canada, it appears. This kid's obviously a player, right? Played for Team Canada.
And he made the team over Robbie Fabry, who they got rid of, who we should talk
Did
about.
he go on a PTO?
He did. And he's given kind of some teams about a month, and we've talked about him later because he's a great kid, and I think he's now feeling really good. His training's changed, he's healthy. But he's given the guys about a month before he makes a decision. But he had a great camp. He said he felt great.
I like his game. Yeah. Just the only thing about him, if you're going to check, he's just always hurt.
He's always hurt. But like Edmonton, you get this guy for under $1 million, a guy that can play up and down, won a Stanley Cup. That's huge.
I think Edmonton would be a great fit for him. So to Benjamin, fellow, welcome to the league. I would say to the training staff, let's put that 81, back in the old, where they just hang him, leave him in there. But Pittsburgh's off to a decent start. I got to give their head.
They played great last night, Obes, like live. And they made great plays. They started great, up 2-0. Like, whoa.
There was a lot of chances in that game. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Up, dog, we're going to dive in that game a little bit here. Sticking with the Ducks, buddy, you teed me up our last little intro part here. Obviously Ryan Getzlaf has moved on. I don't love the way the organization handled it, right? I thought that when, your all-time leader in games played, your all-time leader in points, everything he's done for Orange County, Anaheim, everybody around here loves him. The way that it, ended with Getzy and now he's moved on, he's working for the league. I still don't love it. But they redid their downstairs by their dressing room, and I got to give the Samuelis a lot of credit. They're putting money back into the building, the dressing room. I believe it's going to be called Anaheim Live around the arena, right? They're fixing that up and trying to make it better. And this is unbelievable. There's a big picture of Getzy right in the hallway that just says the captain. And this is kind of the respect that Ryan Getzlaf deserves. Like the years that they've had under Getsy, he won a cup as a young kid, but then there was a stretch through our prime that the Anaheim Ducks every single year it felt like we're going to the Western Conference Finals or into the second round. And Ryan Getzlaf was a big part of that. So the Ducks organization's good on you, boys. Up dog, that's a great picture of Getsy. It just says underneath, the captain, and I love that.
Listen, he bled Anaheim Ducks. He changed the face. He was the face of the franchise when Timu and Paul Kariya were leaving. He came in as a young guy, like you said, and put this Orange County hockey program on his back for, forever. He raised his kids here. His wife's from here. As you just said, sad to see him go and move on to different things. Maybe not better things, but different things. But this is good. The parking's still a nightmare. Shout out to Chris Loomis, is a beauty. Thanks to the tickets. Me and Beckham had a great time. The parking, still a nightmare.
They got a new parking structure, I thought.
They're trying to fix it. It was a shit show getting in there. It was home opener race.
Yeah.
Well, I got there. It's sold out. Names on a list over here. Can't get there. I'm pulling illegal moves. Parked at a hotel a mile away, but whatever.
I would say if you went tomorrow night against the Hurricanes, you probably would have
park right downstairs.
It'll be half full.
No, it's okay. But it was epic. They gave away these, the goalie masks, the Darkwing Duck goalie masks to everyone in the crowd. I mean, I thought as soon as I walked in, I said, this can't be cheap, A. Samueli's are redoing the rink. But this is a nice gesture to the season ticket holders, all the fans that come to the first game.
With all the tariffs, it can't be cheap to get that plastic in from China, huh?
Look, I slide up. I mean, Beckham couldn't stop talking about this.
Yeah, as a kid, I just thought that's so cool.
So it was just good on him. And it was a great game. And I think that the Ducks, what they built down there, the changing, of the arena, the seats, the lighting in there, it needs a facelift, and they're giving it. So that's good for free agents. It's good for young players. And it's about time they caught up.
Yeah, he's a guy that probably could still be playing Obes.
Yeah.
Right? He's a guy that, I mean, the limited games that I was able to play in the National Hockey League, about sub 50. I think I played 2 games or maybe 3 games against those Ducks teams. Him warming up, no bucket. I mean, he was just the definition of a National Leaguer, one of those guys that, could instill the fear in anyone with his fist, the way he could pass the puck. I just remember watching him even as a kid, just the way he could work the half wall, how he could pass a puck under the triangle, find the seam. He was just so silky out there, especially for a big fella, Opes. Like, not a lot of big guys had hands like that. And the passing ability is the thing that stands out for me, is just how well he could find the seam or just under the triangle, a little baby sauce. One of my favorite players to watch, honestly, of all time.
Nobody loved going low and slow more than Getsy either. I mean, when I play with them, little D-to-D bump, you knew he was low and slow all the time for your swishy, always in the right spot.
Yes. Yeah. Just how smart he was, too. And I love that he went no visor, Opes. Even in the later part of his career, he didn't have to do that, but he looked so sick. And then when you play internationally, he'd have that window just cocked right up. Just sitting right on the top of his bucket, because he's like, fuck this. I don't want the window. I don't need the welding shield. I'm going to play how I want to play, eyes out, baby.
Yeah, and he took one, remember?
I played in the game. It was in Phoenix. Fucking.
He took one right here.
Right here. Cracked his fucking forehead bone. Crazy.
Then he put one on for a little bit and then took it back off. And that was after taking one right between the lookers. So good Saskatchewan boys. Good on the Ducks. Teemu Selanne there last night did the opening horn. That was a different one. That's when he took a skate or something. The one right between his eyes. See, you can see his scar.
Yeah, warrior, man. Yeah, that one.
That one right there.
Would he fight heavyweights, Obes? Or would he fight like middle heavies? Because he could chuck them.
Yeah, he would fight. I mean, he fought Joe Thornton off the opening faceoff in a playoff game that was unbelievable. And Joe Thornton was a killer.
Yeah.
Getsy wouldn't fight heavyweights because obviously, he's such a better player than them. But Getsy would fight just about anyone that, could chuck him and could play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Near the end of his career, he did fight some heavyweights. Like when the Ducks were starting to be not a good hockey club and he was getting frustrated, he'd fight guys.
Yeah.
At one point, he was leading their team in fights.
Yeah.
I was texting Uppy and Loops being like, boys, watch the Ducks. Getsy's fighting every night. Look at Pears just slashing this guy right in the leg. Smart. Yeah, here it is. This is playoffs. I mean, Joe Thornton is a scary guy. Like, what's Jumbo? 6'4", 6'5", big, long, can chuck him. Yeah, that was a great fight. So it was good to see Teemu there doing the opening horn. Did an interview in between. He's a fan favorite. So good on the Ducks. We're right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew, boys. DraftKings Bets, baby. Bets, and more bets. Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Fellas, the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Get out there. Get involved. It's unbelievable. I've been playing with it. Last night I had some. Here's my Pick 6, boys. I went 2 for 6. I'll tell you the ones I hit. I had Hurdle over half a goal. That one hit. Curl the Thrill, even with that wall in his back pocket. Over 22:45 in ice time. He played almost 25 minutes. And then I missed on Aho, time on ice. Crosby didn't get as much time on ice as I thought. Ike's, and then somehow Windcloud didn't have more than a shot and a half blocks. But listen, you get in, you get great odds. It's fun. You don't have to risk a lot of money. And when you're watching these games on a nightly basis, you keep your eye on it. So the DraftKings Pick 6 app, boys, get out there, use it, enjoy it. If you hit 5 out of 6, you make money. And then obviously ups and swish. If you go 6 for 6, that's when you get your jackpot, baby. Like my odds last night were like plus 1786 or something.
And you just tickle it, right?
Tickle it.
Just tickle it to get in the game.
Tickle it.
Play wherever the hell you are.
It's a 6-leg parlay pinto is what it is. And you got to hit 5 of 6 to make some scratch. 6 out of 6 obviously gets you paid you out more with the odds, correct?
So prize money, what's it say here? 2 times 3x if you get 5 for 6 and 37.7x if you get them all right. So if you get 5 out of 6, they give you a little tickle. And then if you go 6 for 6, you get the booyah.
Something for the effort.
A little something for the effort. So check it out, boys. If you're listening to Missin Curfew, we would support that for us. And for DraftKings, baby. Swishy, we're in here recording yesterday. Recording on a Wednesday here. Jays play tonight. If they win, I'm going to Seattle for game 4 and 5. If they lose, I'm putting my Jays stuff in storage until next season. But he was talking yesterday, Swish, about how he's been betting, and I haven't been betting hockey, Swishy, because I've just been kind of gun shy. Like the last couple of years, fella, I got stung in the first 20 games. Like, just, some teams think they're still good, other teams are not. You know what I mean? Swishy, if you've been there, like the first 20 games are kind of a crapshoot.
Oh, they are. I mean, leading up to Thanksgiving, you're trying to find the identity of your team. What's the makeup of your roster? You're coming out of training camp. Are some guys banged up? Are there younger players slotted into the lineup that you think you have high hopes for that might not pan out, and we have to go back to the drawing board? Obes, the first 20 games is all about finding your identity as a team and the makeup of your squad and what you're going to be like for the entire year. So I like that. And it's good that you're staying away from the New York Rangers, by the way, who have been shut out 3 times consecutively in their own building at MSG. It's the first time in the NHL history that's happened. So the no BS approach with Mike Sullivan and Chris Drury there in New York, not perfect thus far, my friend.
No, and then you still have the teams that, like, I'm going to use Pittsburgh, for example. Like, they still think they're good. They still think they're in it. Vancouver Canucks, they still think they have a chance. I've been on those teams where you like start off, you're like, we're good. Let's go, boys. American Thanksgiving comes by, you're like, we're kind of out of it. Nah, Christmas, we're done. And you can say what you want, but the mentality of that creeps into your team of you going to games in the second half of the season, and you're really like,
yeah, we're just climbing a hill.
We have no
fucking rock under.
We have no chance to really win unless they take a bunch of dumb penalties and our goalie kicks. But at the first 20, everyone's believing us that they can still do this.
And part of the leadership and the coaches is to instill that and hopefully just make it through those checkmark milestones, Obi, that you just said, with a fighting chance. But the league is so tight right now. The league is so good. The way the cap is, you got to have younger players coming in every year that are going to be able to keep up and make an impact. You got to stay healthy, right? You can't have your top players go down, and we've unfortunately seen that so far in the season so far. But yeah, I know it's one of those things, Obes, it hits you fast.
Yeah. So Updog, though, especially got me motivated yesterday. He's talking about his bets and his mindset going in. I'm like, listen, I got to get back in the game here. You're right. Scared money doesn't make money, Swishy? You got to get involved.
You got to go Johnny Chan, my friend. You got to go all in.
You got to go all in. So I dove back in last night at DraftKings, baby. I had a Leafs Habs parlay cafe. That was a winner. I took the Calgary Flames at home. I hate betting against Vegas for, Pick and T-Rex and Ike's and the boys, but I just thought, Flames at home, and then Princey fires me a stat. Listen to this fucking stat. I go, Princey, I got the Flames tonight. Good start, fella. They're up 2-0 after 1. And the pride of, where's he from, Swishy?
Who's that?
Princey?
Airdrie.
Airdrie.
The pride of Airdrie, Alberta.
The pride of Airdrie, Alberta fires back and says, smart bet, fella. The Flames were 8-4 against Vegas at home over the last 13 games.
That sounds like an old DraftKings Arsenal used to do.
Yeah. 8-4-1. I'm like, well, here we go. Well, fucking Princey. Ikes took that game over. Jack Eichel took that game over. Like a man amongst boys.
Yeah.
His goal, boom, wide, took it to the net.
Counted? He pushed the goalie pad in.
I think it's got to count. And I had money on the Flames. It's got to count.
On his stick, pushing.
Yeah. Like it's all
like
one
he
ball.
came in without it on his stick and smashed the pad.
Yeah. When it first happened, I thought like, oh, did he push him in? But I just think it was bang, bang. Big 62 for the Flames. The Russian kid, I don't know how to say his name, but he had a tough night at the office. Weeksy Baby kind of had a tough night too. Weeksy, I love you, had a tough night at the office.
Kaiden Hill got hurt, right? Looks like he popped his groin or his hip or something I saw.
Yeah. Rumor is Carter Hart's about to sign in Vegas too.
I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Lazarus over that.
Yeah. And then I went Ducks money line, home opener. Updog was there with Beckham. Listen, Ducks hockey, exciting. Power play looks great, like Uppy said. Take the over. Take the over in Ducks games. And they have a great goalie in Dostal. But just the way they're playing, the way Coach Q has just got them, you could see like he's just saying, boys, go. Yeah. Play north-south, play quick. I think the reason the Ducks, if they don't make the playoffs this year, and I just don't think they're a playoff team just yet, is because of their back end. I think their back end is really, really thin. That with the way they're going to play, how good their power play is, Updog, I like Ducks over a lot this year. I think they're going to score a lot of goals, but I think they're going to give some up too.
Yeah, I did a first period over, fella, because I was only going for one period, so I want to get a little action in there. They went down 2 early, but then a great power play goal by that Cutter Gauthier. Man, that kid can skate.
Yeah, he can.
I kind of question him a little bit when they brought him in, and the way he skates through the neutral zone with the puck and you give him a little bit of ice, it looks like a video game. They made just great plays. Their ozone was great. They low to high, hits like a half wall guy. They're putting pucks through. Like the second goal, Kreider with his feet pointed towards the net. It was almost like a Sidney Crosby-esque deflection. It was a good hockey game, exciting. But like you said, they're going to be a high flying team. They're all offense. It'll be, can they compete in those tight, low scoring games that, at the end of the year separates you from either being in the playoffs or missing out by a couple points.
Yeah, Updog's talking like a forward. It was a good game to be a forward, Swishy? But after 2 periods of play, shout out to the boys on Ducks hockey there, Victory Plus, Johnny Ehlers and Brian Hayward. 30 plus in 40 minutes, 30 plus grade A scoring chances both ways. 30, Swishy. That's a lot of grade A's in the National Hockey League, is it not?
Oh, it's a ton. And I mean, we were discussing before this, it's just their back end is not going to be sustainable to make a playoff push. It's a little dicey back there, my friend. And the question I had for you guys is Jacob Trouba. Now, he comes over from New York, and he's well known as the chin hunter of the East. He puts himself in Orange County for the Ducks. Has he been less physical to this point? I think he has. I don't think he's as scary of a presence back there, Obes, and he's not playing necessarily nearly as hard as he needs to be compared to his days in New York. It just seems like he got to California. He saw the sun. Maybe he's on that, indica sativa wave of some bud out here. But man, I don't know, dude. He doesn't seem like he's got that jam that he had in New York.
I was 100% watching it last night, and I know it's, home opener, you think you come out with a little jam, but early in the season, he wasn't physical at all out there last night, Swishy. Now, that could be what you're saying once you come out here in the nice sunshine and there's no media and you got out of New York City with fans all over you and the media bugging you, or he just might be sick of getting suspended. And if that's the case, I get it. You don't want to forfeit your money, especially near the end of your career, but Jacob Trouba not playing physical, to me, is a borderline NHL player. When he plays physical and brings fear into guys, he's 100% a National Leaguer. But last night, watching him play, and it's only one game, and this is coming from a guy who played a lot of bad fucking games over my career, he just was a non-factor out there, didn't do anything, wasn't getting anyone faces, and nobody on Pittsburgh, Swishy, was kind of scared for him to be on the ice. And if I was in that organization, I was coaching them, I'd be like, Troops, we don't want you suspended, but you have to fucking play physical, man. You have to bring some fear to these guys out here.
Well, just even the fact that, like, play hard around the net, play hard in the corners. You don't have to go and, try to take chins necessarily like you were doing in New York, but in front of the net, like, rough some guys up, box guys out hard, play hard in the corners, be assertive. It just seems like he's kind of floating around out there. And I watched him live last year as well when we were doing some stuff with Missin Curfew in Orange County. Went to the Honda Center and watched the game, and it was the same way. It just kind of seems like he's sleepy out there.
I'll tell you who looks to be excited to be here is Chris Kreider.
Yeah.
Chris Kreider looks excited to be here. I think his helmet's too big. I think he might want to try one size smaller.
Or maybe a different style.
But other than that, he's got good style. I was watching him last night. Like, I like his comes out.
He's so
well.
powerful. And
God, it was so nice in that power play goal where he just popped out. Troy Terry down, dusted off, and he just pops out to that quiet zone where Swishy, you know how hard it is for us D-men to get out there, right? And he ripped that fucking over Christian Jarry's shoulder. But excitement, celebrating. Like, to me, that looks like a guy that's excited to be here up. Like,
I mean, it's a new challenge for him. He's been in New York forever. He's climbed that mountain so many times. They unfortunately fell short, but not for personal accolades for him. What is he? He's the top power play guy ever for the New York Rangers. Yeah. He's up there in top 5 for goals scored for them. He's been a presence.
He's a goal scorer.
And he's a proven guy that no matter how he ages, he's still so effective in front of the net. Just from the way his body placement is, he's a big guy. But to your point, he has not lost a step. And, with a new team and a new chance, a new challenge here, like he's taking his opportunity, he's running with it.
And I will say this, I don't think the orange uniforms looked as bright and orange last night. I don't know if I'm just used to them now with a year under my belt, but I thought I was like, all right, these aren't as bright and crazy as I thought they were last year. Like, I kind of thought they looked kind of a little bit short.
Oh, they did. They looked good last night. It's good.
I'll tell you what, it's good for the Ducks. I've been hard on Pat Verbeek throughout his time as a Ducks GM, but he's got a young, exciting team sprinkled in with some nice veterans. I love their forward group. I love their top 9. I like their fourth line with Ross Johnson on there. Michael Granlund was a great pickup. That's a guy that plays all 82 hard. Frankie Vetrano, I like him as well. This young kid. Listen, they're going to be fun to watch. So good for the Ducks. The Honda Center was buzzing. Let's keep that rolling. Up, dog. Get this guy a Labatt Blue.
Fellas, brought to you by Labatt. With Labatt, you can buy beer and get gear. Go to their website, snap a photo of your receipt, and upload it to gain points towards exclusive merch. Any size, any product, anywhere you're buying Labatt. Sign up, fellas, at rewards.labattusa.com. Fellas.
Swishy, it's not long. We're going to be in Buffalo, Chippewa Street, getting banged up with the great people of Buffalo, eh?
Oh, my God. Pack your ski gear, pack your thermals, pack everything you need for an Irish coffee because the good chins of Buffalo in December, that hits different, my friend. I can't wait to get up there.
In the itinerary, they're saying like tailgating from like noon to 4. That's too long to tailgate, right? I don't think I can be outside for 4 hours. Can you? Or
noon to 4 for the Sunday nighter, 5:30.
No, it's a 4 o'clock pickup for these guys.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want
that's
4 hours of tailgating.
That's too long. That's too long. It's too long. I think. Yeah. 4 hours? 4 hours. Hacking the fireballs shooters.
Fucking chicken wings and fucking hot dogs.
We'll be eating chicken wings at a bar with fucking heat, but yeah, we're gonna be out there. I don't think I'm gonna go through a table. I had like a bad vision of like, imagine you went through a table and like I went through you or something. Like, hey, how'd elves go down? Oh, I jumped through a fucking table in Buffalo and that's a little dark, but I don't know. I was just like, I was thinking about doing it. I'm like, nothing good's gonna come of me coming through a table except for content, right, Swishy?
Obes, you played too many games in the NHL and the National League to be jumping through tables at 42 years young. I would say there's other ways you can be funny, and there's a lot more ways you can be funny. So we'll think of something. We don't need you going through a table, though, big bro.
I appreciate that, brother. Do we maybe toss Ice Pick through one? Ice Pick, how do you feel about going through a table?
Some content there.
Now, that's a good idea.
Ice Pick, how do you feel about going through a table off Bill's Mafia?
Yeah, shit. I mean, if it's for the content.
See,
that's the spirits.
It's why you gotta love Ice Pick. He's a team guy. Get this guy a Labatt Blue. We can't wait to get to Buffalo, boys. I got 3. Kaiden Guhle, Montreal Canadiens. I watched them play last night. Marty, you were looking sharp behind the bench, fella. The Bell Center, you want to talk about rocking, and you want to talk about a good production for home opening night. My goodness. The Coldplay song that you know for sure. It was just going bananas. Kaiden Guhle, I love this kid's game. I've seen him mature over the years. He's physical, 15 hits in 5 games. Last night, every time he got a chance to rub somebody out in the corner, he didn't let him off the hook. He has to continue to play like that. And our boy, Tom Wilson, get yourself a Labatt Blue. 400 points for Willie.
Nice.
When this kid came in the league, everyone just thought he was going to be kind of a fourth line, kind of meat stick. And here he is, 400 points later. Good on you, Willie. And then going back to the Ducks, the young kid, Seneca. I believe he's got 3 already, but his first NHL goal is why I'm getting him an ice cold beer. Seems like a great kid. When I watch him play up dog and swishy, he's just good hockey smarts. Like, he'll take the puck into places, have a guy on him, kind of sauce it back. The way he is around the net, he's got a little bit, to me, of Corey Perry in him. He's not as greasy and as old school as Pears, but he's got good hands in tight. Pat Bervik went out on a limb, taking this kid a lot higher than people thought. From what I've seen so far, I like him. So to all those boys, get yourself a Labatt Blue.
Yeah, boys, I'm going to the chin of Philadelphia, the real Rocket Tocchet's Flyers. Now, I don't know if you saw it the other night. There was a shot on a 6-on-5, a 5-on-6 opportunity late in the game by Travis Sanheim. He sent a sifter to the net on an open stage against the team he was playing against, and Christian Dvorak, my boy, gets a tip on a puck that would have went in without him touching it. So, Obes, especially those empty netters where a guy touches a puck late, a guy touches a puck in the crease. This clip was hilarious where Dvorak ended up scoring the goal, tipping the puck into the net that Sanheim clearly would have scored despite even touching it because there was an empty cage. So I just want to give a Labatt Blue to the whole team of Philadelphia, and I hope Christian Dvorak is passing out some Labatts to his teammate Travis Sanheim because that was hilarious. It's one of those you're like, fuck, why did I touch that? I should just let it go. But it was pretty funny. He gets his stick on it and tips home a puck that clearly would have went into the 4x6 if he wouldn't have touched it. So, CD, if you're listening, brother, get your teammates some icy Labatt Blues because you owe them at least a dozen after that's done.
Oh, that's greasy.
How funny is that?
I just saw it.
Oh, it's great.
Leave it to a forward to just take that from a D-man, eh?
Yeah, it could have been his first goal ever. That's like a Ryan Smith.
Would you do that? I'm right. It's not high.
It was like the perfect tip, too. He just you know what I mean? He gets his stick on it, just redirects it. Hilarious. Catches a piece of the blade.
All I'd say there is just keep good habits, boys, eh? Forwards, just keep getting your stick on that puck. Get that goalie's eyes, even if he's not there, and tip those fucking pucks in the back of the net.
Obes, if you're the real Rocket Tocchet and Dvorak gets back to the bench, what are you saying to him? Nice net front presence there, fella.
Yeah, way to get a stick on her, bud. Attaboy, way to get a stick on her. Way to take his eyes in front of him. Hey, that's all you, buddy. Way to get it. I'd be giving it to him. Maybe not as a coach, but if I'm in the dressing room after, I am all over him for doing that.
I'm surprised the refs didn't give him goalie interference. Fucking refs suck. So.
Toe in the blue paint. Hey, by the way, Philadelphia Flyers are doing some really cool stuff on social media behind the scenes, and there was this one clip of the real Rick Tocchet, the real Rocket Tocchet. And he's doing his thing. He's just fucking looking jacked. And he's like, boys, I want this team that when we get off the bus, they're like, we're playing the Philadelphia fucking Flyers. And I was like, see, that's what you want.
That's it was.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's why you want Rick Tocchet as the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Love it.
They're doing some good stuff there. Big win for them the other night. Updog, you want a dish one or you good?
I was just going to throw one out to our boy Mac L. His birthday. Hey, Mac L, get yourself a Labatt Blue Light, fella. Hey, you're the man, the myth. On the pod, the legend.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how old he is.
No one does. Not even him. I don't even think he knows anymore. I don't even think he knows how old he is. Happy birthday, Macko. I love you, buddy. Fuck, have I got pinned with that guy a lot of times. And ever since all you boys have made the move to Aspen from New York, Switch, I come into Aspen, just so excited to see Mackel, Loops, and the boys ups. And that first night, we take her to 5 a.m. We're walking, past the city market, me and Matt Gill heading home. I'm like, fella, we did it again. We did it again. And then I'm playing catch up the rest of the trip, right? Like right from sea level, right into altitude, right into a 6 a.m. with Matt Gill, walking home. Hopefully the bear doesn't eat my fat ass on the way back to, the W or wherever I'm staying, Swishy.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. When you were getting on that bus for the charity game last year in Aspen, you were just announcing it, holding court before everyone's getting on the bus. It took me 2 IVs to get here, boys, and I told the nurse, give me everything legal from the state of Colorado because that's what I need right now.
She gave me everything. Then I got the bill. It's like a $700 fucking IV on my Jesus, can I break that off?
Never giving that shit away.
I guess not. I said, pump another shot of turtle in there for, give me another one. So, boys, always drink responsibly, but get yourself a Labatt Blue. Moving on here, around the National League, the best league in the world. Shout out to our boy, Mike Prince, the pride of Airdrie, Alberta. Living in Medicine Hat now. He's up in the Hat.
Smarty Box.
That's where Lube's played, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's not the Smarty Box. Smarty Box used to be Moose Jaw, I think.
What's Medicine Hat like?
Oh, I don't know. It's
not perfect.
I think it's close to the Drum Heller, which is where all the dinosaurs are buried.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, there's something down there.
Yeah.
Not much though.
So he'll just be checking out a lot of Medicine Hat Tiger games. That's what the.
I think he was banking on that fucking back, but he's gone.
Yeah.
But it gives him some WHL hockey, and it's good.
His family's up there too, so he's got 3 kids. I don't know if everyone knows this. Prince's got 3 kids.
3 kids.
So he moved up there.
What crazy bastard have 3 kids?
I think the Medicine Hat Tigers should bring Princey probably in to run like some of their social or something. Right?
Yeah, it's a nice little town.
Is that a castle? What was that? Go back up. Church.
Is this Medicine Hat?
Is this Medicine Hat?
River Valley there?
Okay, go to Medicine Hat in January.
It's actually not bad weather. Oh, that's pretty nice.
That looks pretty nice.
Southern
How many
Alberta,
kids
right
does
off of
Luke
Highway 1.
Around the National League, boys, this young kid, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Zayne Parekh, put up some unbelievable numbers with the Saginaw Spirit in the Ontario Hockey League Swishy, like 107 points as a defenseman. I had the Flames, like I said, and he made this play early where he's trying to rim it, hits his own net, hits the glass, bounces out front. Wolf has to make an unbelievable save. So I text Princey, I go, who the feck is 19? Princey responds, he's the next Cale Makar fella. I respond back, how much booze have you been drinking up there, Medicine Hat fella? Cale Makar's first game in the league, he was the best player at a Stanley Cup playoff game. Listen, this kid has tons of potential. But Swish, I want to start with you because you played your D-man like myself. He could be the rawest defenseman that I've seen in a long time where he almost looks like he's not quite ready to be out there. At the same time, you can see the potential he has, like the way he can work the offensive red line, his ability to jump down the wall, his ability to pull, shoot, and change the angle. Like he does have a lot of Makar stuff. Yeah, just to if I was talking to Connie and the boys, not that they give a fuck what I think, but like he's so raw swishy that he almost got his head taken off by cold decisions last night. Like he tried to pull it off the wall in the offensive zone and put himself in a position to get fucking rocked. And Decisions almost didn't have a choice but to hit him. Lots of potential. From what I've seen, it's one game. You might want to be careful with this kid. Like, you might not want to rush him in. Calgary's lack of depth on their back end, too, watching them last night, is probably the reason he's in there right now. Lots of potential. I'm just worried, Swishy, that he might be in over his head, even though he's a 9th overall pick or whatever it is.
Yeah, and Craig Conroy there and their management team, Obes, they're probably evaluating his next, 7, 8 games and 9 games, whether they're going to send him back to junior or he's going to be up there full-time and burn the year on his entry-level contract. Look, the skill is there. The kid scored back-to-back 30 goals in the Ontario Hockey League these past 2 years, so you just worry about a young defenseman, Obes, that has a lot of offensive ability because you got to learn the defensive side first before you really add layers to your game. So that's probably something they're monitoring. Obviously, Mitch Love their coaching staff is going to do the best they can to put this kid in the best position to succeed. But if you don't really know how to play defense at the National Hockey League level, Obi, it's so hard to add other layers to your game because you're constantly defending and you're just in your own end. And that's where that kid, he can't be in his own end and taking 45-second shifts and getting hemmed in, right?
No, and he put himself in some spots. And this is from a guy who, when I was young in the NHL, I did the same thing where you put yourself in some spots. You're like, fuck, why did I do that? Watched him last night. I'm like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Where you went. I'm like, don't bring the puck there. Like I'm sure it was so easy for him. Obviously, judging by his 107 points he had in the OHL, I get it. But when you're playing with the big boys, as you know, you can't put yourself in those situations.
Is there a chance he goes back to junior because of this? Or is he up for the full year? You got to think he's 9th overall. If that's an issue, the team should reconsider, whether or not like putting him in these moments right now at this age is the right thing.
Yeah. He's 19 years old, so I guess you go back to junior.
Yeah.
You could go, you could go back to junior for one more
See,
year. Go back
this
to
kid
second.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him getting smoked there. And by the way, if I had any advice to you, fella, 19, I'm sure it's been your number forever. It's not a defense. Yeah, it's not a defenseman's number.
Got it. Oh my God, do your chin strap up.
Oh, fucking. Yeah, they reviewed it. It was 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been a penalty though.
19 too, like that's a forwards number. Maybe flip that around to 91. Not Kajiro's 91, but I don't know. For me, I don't think going back to junior helps this kid. This should be a situation where he can go play in the jungle, go play in the American League, stays in Calgary, can play for the Wranglers. But going back to junior, Swishy, I don't know if that's what this kid needs because
college
down there he can do it. Yeah, he could go play college. Not when he signed to the show though, can he? Updog, good question. I guess we could Google it. KC, maybe look that up if you can right here. Once you sign a pro ticket, though, even with the NIL, I don't think you can go back.
But I think to our point is it doesn't do anything, as you said, going back to junior. He's just going to go back, get 130 points, play the exact same way.
Yes.
But playing against bigger guys where like maybe a mistake here and there isn't like, 2 points in the NHL. It's not going to cost him 2 points in the NHL. Or he's not going to get his fucking bell rung by guys that are professional hitters out there.
Yeah.
Where, he's holding onto the puck. Maybe he's got his head down too much, but you can't teach his offensive ability, but what you can do is put him in spots to succeed as a defenseman.
Yeah.
In a slower pace, more controlled environment rather than the speed of the NHL right now.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a great point by you. And the last thing I think this kid should do is go back to junior because of everything that Uppy just said. But I was watching it last night, Swishy. I'm like, if this was when we were playing, Updog would have Uppy or Jordan Tutu or whoever you want to think of. It would have. He put himself in some tough spots,
right.
And you don't want to see a kid with that much potential get hurt. So, anyways, welcome to the National League, kid. We'll see how it goes. Milk carton time. Swishy touched on this. The New York Rangers, the blue shirts. You were on the milk carton. Like Swishy said, first team in the history of NHL. NHL's been around a long time, right? First team to not score a goal in their first 3 home games. They've scored on the road. They put up 3 in Buffalo, 6, I believe, in Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, they can't get any goal scoring. To me, it's like, you bring in Mike Sullivan again, right? And you bring in all his buddies, and it's like, I don't know. I just wish some young coaches would get an opportunity. I'm not saying Sully's the reason they're not scoring goals, but it just sucks at MSG to get 3 donuts up, dog, to start the year. The boys on the milk cart.
Not much talking about it. And the models that have, the models that sit behind the bench, I mean, you guys keep it up. They're not going to show up. They're going to be going to Knicks games. They're going to be going to shitty concerts. They're not coming to Ranger games. So, boys, find a way to score some goals, get that crowd buzzing, and, be the New York Rangers that we need the NHL to be.
I mean, listen, I never played one game at MSG where I wasn't hung. You got to think like a little home ice advantage here. You can't be like, is none of the boys going out in New York anymore, Swishy, that the Rangers can't find a way to get 1 goal in 3 home games?
I mean, I don't know what's going on, Obes, but if you're looking at just this roster, though, I was watching the game last night. Okay, they were playing the Edmonton Oilers, and it was an absolute snooze fest. Like nobody even competing for pucks on the New York top 12 necessarily, or their bottom 6 in terms of just the guys that want to be there. I mean, you look at their first line. You have Artemi Panarin, Steve Aoki Zabinajad, as I call him, Lafreniere. That's your first line. Like if those guys don't have the puck, who's going to get it? None of those guys are going to forecheck. You look at their second line. You have Will Culley, Miller, Sheary. Okay, question marks on the right side definitely with Sheary. I mean, dating back to 2015, 16, 17, he did play under Mike Sullivan, and they did win cups, but that's been years since that's been a thing. Obi, like this, it's just a what have you done for me lately league, and I just think with Tocchet hurt, their bottom 6, there's so many question marks. Brodzinski, Laba, Radish. I don't love that third line. Edstrom, Carrick, Matt Rempe, the Chin Hunter. Now that's a solid 4th line, but you can't rely on your 4th line to bring you energy when they're playing 12 minutes. Team that came out with shirts in training camp that had no BS on it, that's certainly been bullshit to this point. Like just no real fuck you to their game, and that's not the New York state of mind. These fans deserve way more. So I'm looking at their roster, and I'm honestly putting a lot of the onus on Chris Drury. Like, what are you fielding here for the New York Rangers? It's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, listen, I was watching a little bit of that game. I probably watched a period and a half. When I was watching that game, their best line was Carrick and Rempe and Edstrom. The 4th line was at least getting pucks in, cycling, making some chaos. And JT Miller, nobody loves JT Miller more than me. Even he didn't look like he was fucking kind of not digging in like he used to.
Yeah.
Some bad signs this early in the season if you're a Rangers fan.
I thought he had some good chances. Stuart Skinner was making saves. He wasn't like necessarily looking good making the saves, but he was saving the puck.
I guess he wasn't.
But the game wasn't, you weren't tuning into that game and seeing, great hockey on either side. So they got to find a way. Like you got Connor McDavid and Drysdale coming into your barn and you haven't scored a goal yet. Fucking step on the gas.
Yeah.
Take a chance.
Get it here. You see one.
Fucking elbow the goalie.
Sean Avery was doing his play-by-play, and he seems to think that McDavid, when the boys went out in New York, you think they did? I hope they did.
For sure they did.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
You're coming from Edmonton. You're going to New York. You better be out.
how about the doctor though last night?
The doctor, the sniper got him from the top of MSG there behind the net. Swishy got him.
Did he ever?
I don't know if that was Kyle Rittenhouse or who was sniping him there. John Wilkes Booth, but he definitely took care of the doctor there. My God. Where was the doctor at the night before? Was he at the corner store mixing it up? Where was he at? Was he sliding to the West Village? I want to know where he was because that's one of those you can't even go back to the bench and blame the trainer, man. That was happy feet if I've ever seen him.
That one's tough. That one's tough, boys. So around the National League, that was milk carton time. Boys, moving on. It's the Iciest shot of the night. Presented by Jagermeister. Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jagermeister. Damn, that's cold. For more info, visit Jagermeister.com and always drink responsibly. KC, before you roll it here, I'm watching this game. I need it for my Parlay Cafe. And Marty calls a timeout. Marty's a beauty. He brings Marty's a beauty. He brings in Caufield, Suzuki, Lane Hudson, gets them all in together, and Marty's got this little smirk on his face. And he's just leaning over, talking to him. Devinoff, who can't speak English, is kind of looking at them like, what's going on here? Whatever he whispers to them, these boys start going like Soviet Union style back in the day. They just start swinging everywhere. Hudson's going this way. Suzuki's going that way. Marty's play worked. It comes to Cole Caufield and roll at KC here. This is our Iciest shot of the night. Right here, boys. Lane Hudson doing his thing. Look at this tight turn. Comes back. Drops it here. Caufield. Booyah. Short side, top titty. That's our Jager. Damn, that's cold. Iciest shot of the night. What a shot. Gave him just that little bit of daylight. But I just thought it was great, boys. Marty called a timeout. Maybe that wasn't the play. Maybe he just said, boys, have some fun out there. It's overtime. I don't know what he said, but it worked out. What a win.
I bet you just called him in and said, you want to light this fucking roof on fire, boys?
He might have just said something like that.
Dryden night, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's go get one. Shoot it at the fucking net.
I mean, this shot right here is, boom, damn, that's cold. That is elite. That is elite.
Nice ticket, Lane Hudson.
It seems like Cole Caufield always scores in overtime, too. Over the last 3 years, I would like to know the amount of OT goals he scored, and is he in the top 5 for that amount? Because it's crazy. Like, if you get him on the power play in OT, it's that one-timer. Spinky, Bar Mexico.
They got good balance, too, man. Like, Kirby Doc's back, and then you got Josh Anderson playing on their fourth line, Jake Evans, that Bull Duke they picked up, Brandon Gallagher still doing his thing, and then their top 6. I got to give Alex Newhook credit. He looked unbelievable last night. Slavkovsky, the big boy. Then you got Caufield, Suzuki, size on the back end, mobility, right-handed shot with Dobson. You got Wi-Fi and Carrier, good goaltending. This team's headed in the right direction, Swish, and obviously you guys know how I feel about Marty, and you feel the same way. Like, good days ahead for the Canadian Swish.
100%. And imagine they solidified the middle of the ice with 87 potentially coming over from Pittsburgh. Not saying that's going to happen, but that is the rumor mill over there. And if you had just an experienced veteran, someone you could slide into that 1-2C hole, my God, that team is a team to be reckoned with, man. They like you said, Obes, they're well balanced, they're young, and they're fun to watch.
Swishy, you're right. KC's got to pull up here. Cole Caufield has 9 career overtime goals.
Yeah.
Placing third on the Montreal Canadiens all-time list. Fuck. That's impressive.
It seems like he scores every time they go to overtime, over the last 3 years.
Yeah. Last but not least here, boys, before we get to our guest, the real rocket talk at the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. It's rumor mill time here. I saw it on social media, so it's got to be true. I can't remember the guy who said it, but he said kind of before Bettman's tenure's over, or maybe not before Bettman's tenure's over, but he said eventually the NHL will be 36 teams. Obviously at 32 right now. He said Atlanta, hot Atlanta, shout out to Cheetahs, Houston and the Arizona Coyotes are the 3 guarantees. My question to you boys is, just have a little fun with this. Who would be the 4th team? If there's another place out there, like personally, I don't think Atlanta should get a team. They've already had their opportunity. I think Houston's a no-brainer. I think Phoenix is a no-brainer. Is there someone else that jumps out to you guys? If this is in fact true and we do get to 36, where other place would you like to see a club that we could do a fella tour, have a time maybe?
Cabo.
Mexico City.
Cabo.
Mexico City, eh?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, Texas, or
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Miami.
We got a team there. We got a team there. Back-to-back chatter. Yeah.
Well, that's Fort Lauderdale, you know.
I'm gonna throw one off the map here. I'm gonna say San Diego. If you build a rink in downtown San Diego, I played there for the Gulls. It did help that Friday night was dollar beer night, but we played in the old San Diego arena. They still do. The fans are great. We all know California. A lot of people moved here. They're not from here. If you built a team rink downtown San Diego, Swishy, I think they could have an AHL team there. Obviously, boom, they move into the Pacific Division. Anaheim, LA are their rivals. San Jose. I think there could be a team in San Diego, and that would be a great fella tour for us.
Good travel too, right? Yeah. You're right there. You got 4 teams in California. Then the Gas Lamp District.
Tijuana.
You got Tijuana's close in case you need some pharmaceuticals. It's a great spot. La Jolla, pick up a couple Cougars. I mean, Pacific Beach, Mission Beach. Yeah, Obes, I like the train of thought. I also like Austin, Texas too, just with the influx of, everything going on there business-wise in terms of Silicon Valley. A lot of people moving that way. There's a lot of money there. There would be 3 teams in Texas. Travel would be easy for them. I just think these spots over, say, Kansas City or Indianapolis. Like, I just don't think a place like Kansas City, respectfully, of course, after seeing it, would be a great market for the National Hockey League. Obes. You're landlocked. It's stinky. Barbecue. It's briskets. It's Midwest Sixes. I don't know, man. It's just, there's better spots, I think.
You don't have to convince me, fella. I'm with you. I've been in Kansas City. I'm with you, fella.
Right. Nobody's pumped. Nobody would be excited outside of Kansas City to have welcome an NHL franchise there. I just think there's better spots and more appealing options in the United States of America.
So Updog is going Cabo or Miami? I
said Austin too.
Build a rink.
I said Austin.
Okay, listen. Build a rink downtown Miami. Hey, well,
yeah.
Challenge the Cats. No, but seriously, he said Cabo and Austin. You said Austin, and I said San Diego, boys. So we'll see. Listen, the more teams, the more jobs there are for guys to live out the dreams that we did. So I hope it gets to 36. I'm chirping Atlanta, but I might have to take a fella tour there, eh? Back to Cheetahs.
Yeah.
What a spot, eh? What a spot there. Good state.
Johnny's Hideaway, too. Great bar.
Boys, always fun snapping around with you. We have the pleasure. Friend of the show, all-time legend, Philadelphia Flyers Hall of Famer, the real Rocket Tocchet, the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, Talks fella, coming at you next. Welcome back to Missin Curfew, Updog, Swishy. This guy's more than a friend of the show. He's been unbelievable to us over his time. Absolute warrior on and off the ice. The newest head coach of your former squad. When you think Philadelphia Flyers, you think this fucking guy. Rick Tocchet. Talks, my man. Thank you. I've been bugging you for a month, buddy. You're a team guy. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining.
No problem. You guys know more than anything. The training camp's tough, right? In the sense of, you fly to Boston at 2:00. The next day, you got 2 sessions. Then we got to bus to Hershey the next game, play Washington. It's one of those things, and you appreciate the the NHL right after training camp. What the nice meals, the nice flights and stuff like that. So it's good. It's been good. The guys have been great. Players have been great. Organization, and obviously, the city's a great city to live in, and trying to bring back the Flyers here.
Yeah, no, I would like, first off, thank you before you probably jump to a nice dinner somewhere in Center City there in Rittenhouse Square. But you're going to enjoy being back in the East Coast. Those train rides, early flights, you're always back home in your own bed. It's been a minute since you've, been in the metro there.
Yeah. Like we played Boston, last night. We were back. I probably was in my bed at 12:45, right? When you're a West Coast team, you guys know, those 3-4 in the mornings are tough, right? They're tough on the players. So you probably get more practice time. A little less wear and tear for the players. So yeah, it's going to be a nice change.
Talks. And one thing about the Flyers, like you always got those 1:00 games on Saturday afternoons too. I noticed, right? I turn on the game. It's like, so for players and coaches, it's like, boys, let's take care of business here, right? We play Saturday afternoon. We don't play again till Monday or whatever. Or Tuesday. Like that's a nice little slot to have if you're going to win a nice Saturday afternoon game.
It's a really good thing for a coach, right?
Yeah.
If you a Saturday afternoon game, and then you give them Sunday off, you're giving guys 36 hours, and it actually, listen, it gives a chance to the guys to bond and stuff, but also gets guys some rest, right? Then you come in Monday, you feel like good practice, and hopefully Tuesday you got your legs. So yeah, no, there's a lot of those afternoon games. There's a a couple of 5 o'clockers, 3 o'clock. I remember when I played, we had I think we had 11 a.m. one back in the day. That was a little tough. What do you eat? What do you eat? Like some guys eat spaghetti, and that's tough to eat spaghetti in the morning. But yeah, there's different times, man. There's some different times. Yeah.
That's when you have the team dinner the night before the 11 a.m. We're like, all right, boys, we got to go home tonight, eh? The 11 a.m. tomorrow. Put no second ball on the line tonight. We'll.
You imagine you in warm-up seeing a pot of spaghetti in the morning?
At 11 o'clock game, I wouldn't even have ate in the morning because I'd try to be as light as I could out there. I wouldn't have had like some eggs or something like that.
Yeah, tough.
I played with a guy, and I can't. You guys know I love the guy. I can't mention his name. Back in the day, and we had a 1 o'clock game on a Saturday. And he never went to bed. He scored 3 goals, and he had 4 points. We won 5-3, and that's legendary. I've never seen that happen before, ever in my life.
I had my guy.
If you don't go to bed, you can't get hung over, I guess, eh? That's the mindset there.
Yeah.
Fuck, if I stay,
I don't know.
I'll still feel pretty good out there.
But the next game after that, he was like -4, and he was, you couldn't play. So like, it's the adrenaline gets you by that. It's that second game that kills you, right?
It was all the second game. You could get through the first one, like, and then you like on the back end of that, you're just like, fuck, I should have went to bed the other night. Yeah. This stings. Hey, Talks, man. I loved your time in Vancouver, buddy. As a former Canucks alumni, what you did there a couple of years was unbelievable. As your buddy, I'm just curious, what did you learn from coaching in the Canadian market that you can bring to Philly? Because, as you know, the cameras are on you every day. You got to answer those questions. Like, what do you think will help you moving back to Philly?
Yeah, it's a pressure cooker in Vancouver, right? Canadian city, great place to coach. I mean, to play hockey in a Canadian market is phenomenal. To be a coach is great. I mean, listen, you got to have some thick skin. There's a lot of pressure. You got to answer. There's 25 reporters every day. They're asking you questions. Out of the 15, there's like 3 of them. You just shake your head like you don't understand. Why did you take the guy off? The ice in a second period at the 11-minute mark. I'm like, well, the guy was getting his skate done. What do you want me to do? Or like there's things like that they ask you, and you got to stay calm about it. So. Footy's a calm guy. He'll handle those guys well. But listen, we just got the second round, Game 7 Edmonton, and that city. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like we went to the finals. So can you imagine winning in Vancouver? I mean, and you played here in Philly. Imagine winning a cup in Philly. I mean, it's the rewards are tremendous. The turnouts of people. They want winners here, just like in Vancouver. So it was a great time. Great bunch of guys to coach.
The real rocket at Swish. Hey, it's good to see your chin first and foremost, brother. Always like talking to you. When we were talking this morning, and Obi mentioned you were coming on, he had sent me that iconic picture that we talked about last time with your chin guard on. I mean, the National Guard couldn't find your chin with that thing on, but I just wanted to mention that. But how is just transition to Philly, man? How's it been? Is there one guy on this squad that's really impressed you? Maybe you were unfamiliar with his game going into it, and you've been, kind of taken back with how skilled he is. Is there one guy that stands out on this roster?
Yeah. First of all, the players it's very close. It's a tight-knit group. They work extremely hard. John Tortorella did a great job, the foundation here. I would say Tyson Forster, he's a hockey player. He's a good hockey player. Those guys, they get it done. He played his first game yesterday. He's been off. He's been rehabbing all summer. He's been here all summer. Fortunate that he didn't have to get any work done to himself. But he's a hockey player. You've had played a great game last night. So I'm anxious to really see this guy develop. I think I said this before to the press. Sidney Crosby was over in the World Championship, and he loves him. So when you got a guy like Sid saying this guy's a player, you get a great recommendation and endorsement when a guy like that says about him. So yeah, great kid. And there's a lot of other kids like that, but he's a guy that's so far stuck out for me.
Yeah, that'll help with the confidence, if Sid gives you a little bump like that. Hey,
Yes.
when we talk about Philadelphia Flyers, like I said when I brought you in, you are a Philadelphia Flyer. By the way you played the game, you're a Hall of Famer there for many, many reasons. When you were looking for a job, I was trying to stir the pot with Anaheim, fella. I wanted you out here. I was like, talks to Anaheim. I was going to get you the penthouse at the Bay Club. But in all seriousness, was it a no-brainer for you? When you became available and that job became available, it just seemed like, why not Rick Tocchet? He is a Philadelphia Flyer.
Yeah, I think for me, during the process, listen, you don't have these chances. I had a few teams, that I was contemplating on. And, I talked to Danny Briere and Jonesy a lot. During when I left Vancouver about their vision, right? How do we get the Flyers back? And they said we can't short track it here. We got to do the long game. We got, I think, that 42 or 43 million cap space next year. They got a Martone. This Jack Nesbitt is going to be a hell of a player. He's 18. There's some second, third rounder guys that can be some players. So there's some people coming. So I like that part of it. And you just don't want to be a one and done team, right? You want to be able to go to the Flyers over the years. It's like they've always been in the playoffs, right? They've always had a chance. And now it's been I don't know how many years that they haven't been out. So I like their plan. Danny and Josie signs same as me, a 5-year deal. Dan Hilferty, the president of our Spectacor, our sports division, great guy. He says there's patience, but saying that, listen, the fans, how much can you say to the fans to be patient? It's been a lot of years. So hopefully I can supply an arrow, hey, we're coming together. Whether we win or lose, who knows? But we got to go make sure the process of, especially this year, and we got to see some growth. There's some young players here. I got to get these guys to maximize their talent. That's what I'm going to be judged on, and our coaching staff, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, you just touched on it. You have a very patient GM in Danny Briere, even the way he played in a very non-patient city where they expect to win, and it's integrated into the blood of Philadelphia Flyer fans. So I hear. I just wanted to ask you talks a little bit about the history and Ed Snyder being the guy he was, his legacy that he's left in Philly. Going back there now, walking into the room, and do you still feel instilled in the history of the Philadelphia Flyers? And then the young guys walking in the room, like the Trevor Zegras who shows up this summer, did the kids feel that there? And then what buttons do you want to press on these guys to get them to play Philadelphia Flyer hockey right off the get-go?
Yeah, I think for me, the coach has that pre-speech training camp, and I was contemplating. I'm not that guy that wants to give the big long speeches and 4 or 5 points. I just really wanted to harp on the crest. You have good players on your team or great players, but it's really about the crest. And Ed Snyder was about the crest. I remember as an 18, 19-year-old, you don't know which way to go, and it was like a family. They taught me everything. So I really have gratitude and grateful for being able to what they helped me. Who knows? I go to another team, you never know. You can go to the minors, things don't turn out as well, but I think they helped my growth. So I feel gratitude and grateful for that. But also we got to protect this crest, right? And how do you do that? Every coach says that you want to be an uncomfortable team to play. You want to stick up for each other and the brotherhood. But that is the Philly. It's a city of brotherly love. It's a gritty town. They love their sports. I mean, look at the Eagles. The Eagles are what? They 4-0, and seems like nobody's happy the way they're winning. I mean, and they just won the Super Bowl. They're phenomenal. That's the best standard, right? That's a standard, and we got to raise that standard around here and protect that crest. So it's all about the crest for me. That's really we go strengthen that crest and try to, we're building an identity. What are we? What kind? Are we an intelligent team? Are we the hard team to play against? They don't beat themselves. Work extremely hard. Those are the things that we got to kind of protect.
Yes, just one thing on the crest and just what Flyer hockey was. I remember Ed after every game coming in talks, and I was 25, 26, but he'd come in every game badass Ed Snyder would walk in and he'd have a 6 suit on, snake boots.
I know.
He'd go looking you in the eyes and shake your hand after every game, like good win, good win. It was an incredible like way that you felt like this guy was like your dad, and he was like, fucking our battle tonight. Like those memories I'll always remember. There's no owners like that in the league. There was never an owner like that.
That's Uppy, you're so true. And the one thing is when even after a loss, right? Yeah. I remember like some losses and you're like, shit, I didn't play well. And he'd come around and shake your hand. And I felt bad. I'm going, man, I like you just said, I let you down. Like I had a shitty game, but he'd still shake your hand. Like, he would say he had a shitty game, but he'd shake, hey, keep keep your head up. And I'm like, I feel bad. I had a bad game. So yeah, Ed was, he was one of the best owners in pro sports. I mean, for sure. And the players love playing for him.
Talks, you kind of teed me up for my next question when it comes to the crest. Like, he touched on DB. I played against DB. Like, guy was super skilled and played harder than his size. Right back then, there was a lot of big guys out there. DB would go to dirty areas. Keith Jones is a guy that I've got to know. I love Jonesy, and obviously the way you played the game, but all three of you were Flyers. So to come in there now when you have all three of you guys there for 5 years, like you said, to get that message across to your players, it's got to help when you have three guys that wore the fucking crest and played it the right way, right?
Yeah, it's great, right? So I get here a couple of months ago, and we had the development camp. Johnny Leclerc's there, and Johnny, I know I played with Johnny in the 2000, and he's talking, he's going, man, it hurts him the way the Flyers haven't won over the years. Wayne Simmons, he's part of the development camp. He was a Warrior. You got Stewie there. Patrick Sharp, these guys are like great hockey players. And then you got the Billy Barbers and the Bobby Clark. So you're surrounded by greatness, and you don't want to let those guys down because they want the Flyers back where they want. And so I got a lot of help when you got those guys helping you out. Then obviously Keith Jones and Danny have been terrific for I tell Jonesy that he's great now, but if I lose for him, I want to see if he's. I bust his balls. He says he hasn't had a drink in 2 months. He's working out. He's lost a bunch of weight, right?
Nice.
And he goes, when are you gonna start drinking? He goes, the first game you coach. He goes, I'm gonna start drinking again. I have to watch the way you coach. So that's your president, right? Jonesy's he really is a great guy in the room, and Danny, they really give you a comfort level. They're with you, and it's good to have that kind of support.
Talks, I wanted to ask you, just as the people's insider, that's self-proclaimed, by the way, I want to ask a question just for the people. I mean, you've been a part of the NHL for the better part of 40 years, brother. It's basically everything you know in the game, and you've given so much to it. I wanted to ask you, like, on a normal game day, after pregame skate wraps up, what is your routine? Is it the same pregame meal? Are you getting a sweat in? Like, just take me through that a little bit, kind of leading up to game time.
Yeah, so in Vancouver, I'll go with Vancouver. I switched it up over the years. I like to on a home game, and you guys, Shane, Obi, you'll know the one that I walk to Seawall. So after the morning skate, I'll go grab my iPods and I'll go, I'll put some music and I'll walk to Seawall. And, we'll walk about 6 miles, get back, then I'll have something to eat, maybe lie down for 45 minutes, and then go from there. On the road, I'll come back, I'll go work out, and after I work out, I'll go down the meal room at 1:30. Same thing. I'm not a big sleeper, so 45 minutes. So that's kind of my routine. And then on game days, sometimes on like a Vancouver Tuesday night, nothing's going on. After the game, I'll wait till everybody leaves. I'll work out because I can't sleep anyways. Try to take a sauna and stuff so I can be able to sleep late at that night. So those are some of the things I do as a coach. The tough part is the you get to the rink. I don't want to get there like 4 hours, but I get there about 3 hours before, or 2.5 hours before. After your pregame meeting, right? The pregame meeting, that hour and a half is the worst part of hockey for coaches. You do nothing. There's nothing really to do. I mean, you don't want to bug the players. I mean, you grab an odd guy, you show him some video, but not too much. That hour and a half is the toughest part. You probably, the good thing in Vancouver, you watch the East Coast games. That was great. Now here in Philly, I don't know what I'm going to watch at 5:30. So to keep my mind occupied, because last thing you want to do is be in a computer or looking at hockey games and try to overcoach. So I got to think of something. Maybe try to get a college degree or something during those times.
We used to watch Jeopardy before the game on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Fire Jeopardy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, just
I had you more of a Wheel of Fortune guy than Jeopardy. But
Yeah, exactly.
Jeopardy. Eh? Get the wheels going.
You feel smarter, you know. You get out there, you think a little more.
Hey, Talks, by the way, in Vancouver, like, it's nice on that Saturday night when you're the second game in Hockey Night in Canada. You come in, the Hockey Night in Canada on the East Coast is on. It kind of fires you up, eh? You're like, let's go, boys.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You're watching the Toronto. Say Toronto's playing the Montreal game. And you're watching the game, and your game's not started yet. And they all the promo later. Like Vancouver's playing Edmonton and do their spiel with that Hockey Night in Canada music, and you're like, man, I'm going to be coaching Vancouver in this second game. This is pretty cool. So yeah, that's a nice thing, that doubleheader of Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah. Talks, I want to ask you, buddy. Like, you go to Philly. And everyone's excited. And listen, like you said, you guys have a plan there, right? But I look at the Eastern Conference and, obviously Florida back-to-back champs. They're dealing with some injuries. Toronto's going to be good again. The Metro, who knows with the Rangers? Like, how hard is it for you to manage expectations and just kind of focus on each day at a time? Is that what you're telling your players and staff kind of?
Yeah, I think the mantra for me is like, how do we get better every day? I know their slogan is brick by brick, and that's really what it comes down to. Like, I think if you skip the process of it, and you worry about the results, you miss those steps to win, right? So, like I said, the guys have been really receptive. They want the details. They've actually they've called me actually a couple times and said, hey, continue with the video and the details. They like the practices. I want feedback from them too. Like I said, I don't know everything. And sometimes, I want a guy that, hey, listen, can we do this for practice? Or I'm not quite sure, our neutral and forecheck, can we go over it again? That feedback's, it's huge for us coaches. Because like I said, we don't know everything. And sometimes, I've sat in that seat, and you get those guys, those coaches are constantly talking. They might be saying the right things, but it's that, that the same thing. So that's why it's important. I let my assistant coaches run meetings sometimes. Sometimes I'll grab a player, and actually we do this once in a while. I'll grab 3 players. I'll let them do the like a video. And it's actually pretty funny. We did this in Pittsburgh, and some guys would imitate me or Mike Sullivan, on a video. That's pretty cool. I think that you need that camaraderie and stuff like that. I remember one time we were, it was April Fool's. I went to Ian Cole, and I said, I was doing a presentation, the video, and I go, Kohler, I want you to question everything I say. Because just to like anything I say, you go, what do you mean? Like, why this? So I start saying this, and I go, and then Kohler, you have to be here. And then he goes, what do you mean? I got to be there. So he starts biting back, right? It's a prank. Yeah. So I tell him, I go, really, Kohler? So we can start yelling at each other. Let's fucking go. So I go at Kohler, and all the players are like, and then I couldn't hold it. We started laughing. All the guys thought we were going to fight. So I think that's important, that stuff, right?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I would love to see the up dog breakdown of film back in the day. I would have sat down for that talk. So like,
yeah, I should have even told you guys. But yeah, it's fun to do that stuff. It makes you, it makes you humanize with the players.
Talks. I just want to go back to like actually being a Philadelphia Flyer, and I went in there on the road back in the day, man. Right when Uppy was there and Loops was there, and I come in, they have Asham and Grattan and fucking keep on going, right? I'm like, holy fuck, this is going to be a long night. And then you got the fans all over you, and like it's just like it's relentless. But now that you're back on the right side of it, like how important is that to get these fans involved? And like it's such a home ice advantage for the Flyers when these fans are passionate and start letting the opposing team know about it. Like from playing there, Talks, like it wears on you.
Yeah, I think that intimidation is big in that rink.
Yeah.
Can we supply the pressure? Listen, yeah, you want some guys that play gritty hockey and stuff, but also they want to see they want to see the power play buzzing. They want to see guys taking finishing checks. They want to see do the right things out there and work hard. I mean, that's the one thing. If you don't work hard in Philly, they'll probably run out. And if I put together a soft team, you're going to get run out of this town. So it's important that we, the work ethic and like I said, play for the crest. I think if you can do that, the fans will be proud of you. And I think that's what that's what we're trying to instill here.
Former 6th overall pick, 2020, Jamie Drysdale, came over in a trade a couple years ago and obviously missed a lot of time over the last 2 years. How has he looked at camp? Is he moving well? Are those hips go?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to imagine he's going to be a big piece of your blue line, and especially on the power play.
Yeah, and I don't want to just say it for saying that. He's really been a pleasant surprise. I don't know him too well. I know that he's been hurt last couple of years here and there, and he wants to get his game to a different level. But I think him and Cam York have been really, really good this camp. And what I like about Drysdale, he's trying stuff at the blue line. I told him to watch Quinn Hughes' video, and he's doing those spinoramas at the blue, and I want him to try that stuff. And he's a better defender since I've seen than people say. I think he's done a really good job at defending. I think the sky's the limit on him. He's a good player, and I think asking Zegras here, I think they're really close. I think that's going to help him. He's kind of a quiet guy, but he's a guy that he's in those meetings. He's speaking up. That's what I want from him, because he can supply that mobility on the blue line and that shot and that fourth man up in the rush. I mean, that's how you win hockey games, and we're going to need that from him.
Talks with Michkov, with Zegs. You got, as much skill there as two players probably in the NHL, what they like to do with the puck and their vision. What do you see in their game so far? Is there buttons to push there? Is there another element you'd like to see Zegs get to in his career? He's coming off an injury. He's been plagued, but I think he needed a fresh change. Are these young players with all the skill, is there little buttons that you're looking forward to seeing if they can get to the next level?
Yeah, I forgot like Trevor. He's a fabulous kid. I don't really know him, and the last couple months starting to get to know the guy. I love his. In fact, he's got a great smile. He's a fun guy, and I don't want him to take that away from him. I want him to be that guy in that locker room, and he knows, he knows he's got to clean up a certain part of his game. He's done a really nice job in camp so far. He's made some nice plays. Scored a beautiful goal the other night. There's a couple of things I think he can get better at. I know when he gets in that shooting area, he straightens up. He's looking to pass all the time, and he knows it. Because I'm on it. That's the one thing I'm going to be on him about. Because if he wants to score, he's going to have to. He can't defer. He makes great plays, but I think he can be a shooter. You've seen him. You guys know him in Anaheim. He scored some highlight goals. So that's my only thing for him is you got to be more aggressive with his shot and taking it. He's great at taking it to the hole. I think he's just sometimes overpasses. But I'm never going to take his creativity away. I mean, he's a magician with a puck. I just think there's things he can clean up that can help him fast track to the player he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that creativity translates to giving new nicknames too. Like he's ingraining himself in this culture, Talks, and you ended up with a new nickname, at least as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I call you the real Rocket Foot. Is Taco? Is that nickname sticking?
Yeah, I don't know. He's been calling me Taco, and then he came up to me. He goes, "Talk." I was talking to Quinn Hughes, and he goes, "Hey, how's Talk?" And I thought he was saying "How's Taco," and all Quinn was saying, "How's Talk doing?" And he thought it was Taco, so that's how it's kind of transpired, So
Yeah.
Nobody's called me Taco yet. It's funny. The other day, you guys will laugh when Zegras is, I'm in the jacuzzi, the players' jacuzzi, and I thought they were gone. So Delory comes in, and he comes in jacuzzi, and we're just bullshitting. I like D'Lo, great guy. And D'Lo starts laughing. I go, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, Zegras, and I forget who he's with. They're scared to come in the jacuzzi because you're in there, right? And I'm like, and I go, "D'Lo, will you tell those guys, who gives a shit, right?" Yeah. They were scared, and now Zegras is kind of chirping me a little bit, which I want. It's nice for players to chirp. Travis Konecny, he's a funny guy too. He chirps every once in a while. So and you want those guys to have that relationship with the coach and that sort of stuff.
For sure. It's huge. I look back on some of my careers, there's going to be a time where you got to, set the boys straight, and there's going to be times with discipline or
for sure.
But we're on the same team. Why should I be intimidated by my coach or whatever? And I I look back to AV and Vancouver. I like AV, but he wouldn't talk to anyone, and he'd come in and it's dude, we're on the same team. We're pushing for the same goal. I'm the head coach, but I think that's huge, Talks, that you build relationships with your guys like that.
Yeah, I think you can coach at the coffee machine, at the meal room. It doesn't have to be in your office, watching video. It can be anywhere. The other day, Michkov and I was with Zamula, and I had the pepper shakers and the salt shakers putting people as players. And I said, "Hey, Mitch, I've heard talking about how to turn a dime in the power play." and I was explaining to him, and Zamula is kind of translating, and I was, I had the salt pepper shakers, moving around, and it doesn't always have to be in your room, right? So I think that's fun to do, and I think, like I said, the players, I think the players like that. I mean, I've had coaches that were terrific. You don't want to let them down either. So, I just think that, and most coaches are like that around the league anyways. I think a lot of guys, Coop's great.
Yeah.
I think guys like that, the players like playing for those type of guys.
Talks, I got to ask you, obviously, brother, you played the game as tough as anyone. And when I look at this club, you got some toughness, my man. Delorier, Hathaway, and Nick Sealer, who I absolutely love on the back end. And that kid's not just tough. He can make a first pass. He's got good feet. He can defend. But when you look at this team, I know the game has changed, but still, it's the Philadelphia Flyers with Rick Tocchet at the helm. Like, it's got to be nice to have those three guys in there knowing if someone wants to come in, we got the boys,
Yeah, I've seen it already. And the games have been good, but I'm saying that I haven't seen things getting out of hand because you have those guys. And Deal was actually worked hard. I think there's more to his offense, and obviously he's a forechecker. Hathaway's if you're talking about a team guy, this guy is a team guy. Like, he doesn't care about anything about individual. He's about the team. And Nick Sealer is as great as a guy. Like, when I got here, all I was told that Nick Sealer, what a great guy. And man, is he a great guy. So when you get three guys like that are heart and soul guys, just makes my job easier. And and it's not even that they're trying to run the room. They're just great guys that want to play the game hard and protect their teammates.
Yeah, Hath came down. I think he went to Brown, right? I think he went to Brown, and I got sent down. I was back down in the jungle in Abbotsford, and he comes in from college, and he's like, "Olbs, I want to learn how to fight." I'm like, "All right, I'll show you a couple grips, kid. But like, there's only one way to do it. You got to get in there. Like that's the only way to learn." And he goes out, runs a guy, and the guy kind of jumps him, and he only got one glove off. And I'm like, after the game, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should have told you. You got to drop both gloves too, buddy. Hey, you can't just have one glove on there, fella. You got to drop both." But he's a great kid. He's a great kid.
Yeah, I think he's got a beer here now. He's got his own beer. They had a big charity event. I think they're gonna. So yeah, he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
He's getting the marketing world. Smart kid.
Good for him. Talks. Listen, October in Philadelphia. It's a sports town. You got the Fightin' Phils going to the World Series. The Eagles are the yes. The Eagles are the Eagles. How's the buzz around town, man? Is Center City buzzing? Like, are you walking around and people just talking sports? And have you been to any of these games down the stretch?
Yeah. So Rob Thompson, the coach for the Phillies, invited me. Well, he was texting me a bunch of things. He wanted me to come to the game, so I brought our coaches. It was carte blanche. We were in his office, 10 minutes before the game. The owner gave us his box. We had a big dinner in the president's suite. They've been unbelievable. And I know the relationship. The players go to the tailgates all the time with the Eagles. They support the Eagles. Listen, those two, especially those two teams right now, they're the toast of the town, and we're behind them. It's fun to watch these guys play, and it's actually good for us because it's like we want to get to their level, right? But yeah, no, they've been great, and then obviously, I'm really close to Charles Barkley. He's he's a big Flyer fan, right? He's helping, he'll a couple of games. So yeah, Cole Hamels is a good buddy of mine. He's with the Phillies. He works with the Phillies now. We've been out a few times around the town. So it's just a brotherhood, right? And like I said, it's fun to be around town when Philly sports is winning.
Yeah. Tox, my last one for you, brother. I know you keep it tight, you stay in shape, but as a guy, sometimes when I'm hungover, my favorite item of food is a hung Philadelphia cheesesteak. So if I'm coming to Philly and say I wake up on a Sunday and I'm stung, where am I going for a Philly? Like, where's your go-to Philly?
Yeah, right now it's Skinny Joe. Joe Merlino opened up a cheesesteak place, and there's a lineup outside the door. It's every day. It's a Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and there's like 550 people outside. So I would say I think they do the ribeye, quality stuff. Right now, I think that's the place. I've been around in 25 years. I mean, I'm in and out so it's been a while. But that's a go-to place for cheesesteaks. I would say go there. It's by the arena actually, so you'll see it.
I got to meet Joey. He's a good man. I'm glad he's in the cheesesteak
Is he
business.
skinny?
Yeah.
Is he skinny? Is he skinny Joe? Is he skinny, or is that like a one-on-one?
He's skinny. Oh yeah, he's skinny.
I thought Skinny
Ozempic
Joe might have
Joe.
been built like me. Maybe that's why they call him Skinny Joe. Eh?
But enough cheesesteaks
Yeah.
and you get in there. Yeah.
Hey, Talks, one more for me, buddy, and thank you so much, man. We know how busy you are. You're so good to us here at Missin Curfew. Just curious, Hockey Canada, we all love Coop. We were in Montreal with you guys last year. Four Nations was unbelievable. Olympic year. Obviously, the Flyers are your number one priority, but how does it work for you? I'm just curious on how much you talk to Hockey Canada throughout the year. Will that depend on your schedule, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we did the orientation in Calgary, which was terrific. Actually, Coop did an unbelievable presentation on winning, and he basically it's about small moments to big moments. It was terrific. Obviously, being with Pete DeBoer and Misha Donskoy and Bruce Cassidy, like you're learning every day from those type of guys, and then the GMs and stuff. So yeah, so we'll be in contact. Like we have a group text we talk about, and then our projects now is like I think I got Warcheck and OZP, so I'll put a little presentation. I'll give it to Coop. Pete DeBoer has defense, and then Bruce has the Butchie's got the power play. So we put a kind of a tape together, send it to the players, like in a couple of months. And then it's time, you got to pick the team. I think it's December, January when you have to have the final roster. And, there's going to be some interesting people that, who can get on that team. So yeah, it's fun to be a part of just to be that small part. You're in that room and, learn from the best. Being around the players are phenomenal. Like the McDavid, I didn't know Carter that well, but just being in this environment, what a great guy. And obviously, about Sid, you just go down the list of great guys. And, there's some guys you don't really know, like a Morrissey. I mean, what a class guy he is, or a Taves. Just so like the great players, but so classy. So it's just to hang around those guys really helps you, even as a coach, to understand their brain on how they want to be coached.
Yeah, Talks, man. We can't wait for the Olympics. We can't wait for the regular season. Philadelphia Flyers are in good hands with you and Jonesy and DB, buddy. Thank you so much. You're so good to us here. Sorry for bugging you for the last month. I'll leave you alone now.
Oh.
And I checked your schedule there. I'll probably see you in Vegas, fella, but I'll follow up on that one. But good luck, man. Thank you.
Aren't you bringing Missin Curfew to Italy? Why don't you guys bring it to Italy?
We talked
about the podcast.
Yeah.
I got to talk to Coop about we have some passes maybe. Is Coop getting extra passes or what? I need some access, Talks. I got to talk to Coop, eh?
Well, don't ask me. Like, I don't have the juice, but Coop's got. He has the juice. Like he'll be able to handle that stuff.
I got a guy there, by the way. I got some good spots to hit too. Yeah.
I got a guy. I've heard that before. I got a guy. I gotta have a guy on the ground to show you where to go. And hey, bring him over here. Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
Milan, how are you? That's gonna be a time, by the way. That's gonna be great for first.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. What a great country, and Milan and the city, and they've already got the orientation. Where we're staying and how long it takes to get the rink, and what how the Hockey Canada. I can admit the crew that the Scott Sam and what they put together as crew, they do it right, and you don't have to lift a finger. So it'll be something that I'll always like. I just can't wait for it. Right, it's something a great memory. It'll be some great hockey. All those other countries in there, and it's just not U.S. and Canada, and these other countries have a shot to win too. So it's going to be a hell of a tournament.
If it's any faster than the Four Nations, I might not be able to watch the fight. It was going so fast out there. My neck started hurting, man. They were fucking buzzing, so it was crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. I know.
Talks, my man. Thank you so much. Go Flyers, buddy. Enjoy it, and thank you for always being so cool with Missin Curfew.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog, Swishy, the real Rocket Tocchet.
The realness.
That guy's a glue guy. Wish him the best. You're a former Flyer. They're in good hands.
They're in good hands, and the city needed a little facelift with the head coaching change. As he said, Torts did a great job of setting these kids up for for the next step. He's the guy for the job. It's an exciting time in Philly, not just for hockey but for sports, and I'm excited to get the season going and see him at the helm, bud. Yep.
One of the best, Opes. A guy that I certainly look up to and respect. Been a part of the National Hockey League for 40 years. I mean, it's the real Rocket Tocchet. What else can you say? A living legend of the game of hockey. So always cool to chat with him. When you told me he was coming on today, I was so fired up. So it's awesome. And he's got he's loose, right? Like he's got some good swagger going on. Like that was a really good interview. It was fun to chop it up with him. Yeah.
Nobody says the real Rocket better than you, Swishy. You say it perfectly. And listen, he's right about Coop. Between Coop and Getzlaf, maybe we can get some passes over there.
I think we can.
I just want some passes that I can come into the game. I don't have to worry about tickets or anything. You can do that, or is that too much to ask?
That's a lot at the Olympics.
I want to stay in the fucking athlete village with the boys. Is that too much to ask? Or
no, we stay at Armani Hotel downtown, and it's walking distance to everywhere.
Fella tour?
Oh my God, yeah.
Swishy, you the man. Up dog, thank you. Thank you to Rick Tocchet. Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Kyle, Casey Conway, Max, the Ice Pick Pickup. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.